everybody, so welcome back to Ukulele. I hope you had a nice break. Managed to get out for a walk, maybe out to Portlaw Woods, places like that, and generally had a nice time of it. And we're going to get back into playing ukulele over the next few weeks again. I'm going to start off with the Kerry Polka this week. It's a trad tune, traditional Irish tune, and this is because we've got our national holiday coming up. We've got St. Patrick's Day coming up in a few weeks, and I think it'd be really good to teach you a few traditional tunes that you can play for people on those days. St. Patrick's Day, genuinely one of my favourite days of the year. When I was growing up in Manchester, it was a massive day for us as second generation Irish. We didn't get the day off from school, but we used to take it anyway. And we do a lot of gigs. Like we used to do like 3 or 4 gigs in a day. So it was a great day for us as musicians because we used to make a lot of money out of it. So I'm thinking I can teach you the Kerry Polka. And hopefully we'll move on to Some Say the Devil Is Dead, which is a song, but also we can play it as what we call a slide, as a tune. You might pass the hat round with anyone that's in your house, your mum and your dad. That's the thing us musicians do. Pass a hat round and people have to put treats in it, maybe sweets, maybe a bit of money, whatever's going. But it's one of the bonuses of being a musician. You can entertain people and pass the hat round. So we're starting off with the Kerry Polka anyway, and this video is going to be in a couple of little parts, little sections for this week. So we're going to learn the first part first really steadily using tab, and then we're going to learn the second part in a separate video. Then we're going to put those 2 parts together by the end of the video and play through the whole tune, still at a steady speed. We're also going to look at the chords for the first and the second part of the Kerry Polka, but we're going to be doing 2 things here. We're going to be playing chords along with it, and we're going to be playing the tune. When it comes to playing the tune, you can either play with your thumb, which, you know, you've all seen me doing it. We play that. I quite often use my thumb when picking on the ukulele. But also, I'd like anyone that's got a plectrum to try using your plectrum in this class. So your plectrum should always be the pointy part of the plectrum down and grip between your thumb and your index finger is a really good way to be gripping it. Don't squeeze your plectrum too tight. Have a nice relaxed grip because you want to be able to move across the ukulele. And we're going to pick the tune. We can do that instead. We can go. You get a nice crisp sounding note if we do it that way. But like I say, if you've not got a plectrum, that's fine. Use your thumb like we always have done for tab. One thing I want you to do that we're going to work on with our plectrum is what we call an alternating picking pattern. Basically, we're going to swap between going down, then up. And I'm going to give you a little exercise just at the start of the class to help you with that. We're going to go with our first finger on the G string. We're going to go down with our plectrum. Then we're going to go second finger on the G string, 2nd fret, up with the plectrum. Then we're going to go down again with the plectrum for our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the G string. And then we're going to go up with our 4th finger on the 4th fret of the G string. So what we get is down, up, down, up. Then we're going to move down, do the same on the C string. And we go down, up, down, up. Let's move down. Guess what? We're going down to the E string, doing the exact same. Down, up, down, up. Then finally to the A string. Down, up, down, up. Yeah? So that's getting us used to going down and up. It's also warming our fingers up and helping us to get right up on our fingertips. When we've got to the end here, we're going to go backwards then. We're going to go down, up, down, up. Move up to the E string. Down, up, down, up. To the C string. Down, up, onto the G string. And then you're finished. That's it. Do that warm up every time you come to practice. It's a really good one for helping with your spacing in your left hand, the gaps in between your fingers, and also getting onto your fingertips. And it's a very good one for going down and up with a plectrum. Anyone that's thinking, oh, I've not got a plectrum, I've only got my thumb, you can still do this exercise because it will really help with your left hand as well. It's going to help you be more nimble and improve the strength in your fingers. So that's all I have to say for now about the Kerry Polka. Let's get on with playing it. Okay, so we can see now we've got the music for the first part of the Kerry Polka in front of us, the tab. You can see at the start of the tab we've got a new time signature of 2/4. 2/4 time, which basically means we're counting 2 beats to every bar. So watch out when the play along video starts. For my counting, it's only going to be 1 and 2 and. I just want to talk to you a little bit about what fingers we're going to use in our left hand. For most of the first part, we're going to be pretty much holding a G shape down. So, but at the very start, we're going to leave our third finger off. We're going to have our second finger on the bottom string, the A string, sorry. We're going to have first finger on the C string, second fret, and we're going to go. See, we can just leave those 2 fingers there for the entire of the first 2 bars. Makes life a bit easier. Then we can bring our third finger on for the next bar. Lift our second finger. And you see our fingers are doing very little work, so it's all based around the G chord for the first part. Yeah. So that might take a bit of getting used to, but do try to hold that shape. Don't try to jump around with your first finger or anything like that. Try to hold that G shape and use your third finger when needed. So best up when playing this, listen really carefully to the counting. 1 and 2 and. So now we're up to the second part of the Kerry Polka. In a second I'm going to count us in again. It's going to be 1 and 2 and again. But we're going to play this second part slightly differently with our left hand. We're not going to be holding that G shape down anymore and lifting fingers when we need to. We're going to be playing in what we call second position. All that means is, instead of using the same finger as fret number, we move them all up to one fret. And that means our first finger will be playing the second fret, second finger will be playing the third fret, third finger will be playing the fourth fret, and our little finger, our fourth finger, will be on the fifth fret. And that's because we have to reach up to that fifth fret in this second part. Just makes that reach a bit easier rather than being down here with our second finger and reaching. It's tough. So we can make things easy by using different positions on the ukulele. So watch how I do this now. Do you see? It makes that little reach up a small bit handier, so we can get our first little finger there really handily. So give that a good go. Do try to reach. Don't use one finger. That's really hard to do that. So keep going down up with the plectrum and watch out for that 2-beat counting at the start. 1 and 2 and. Okay, so now we're up to the chords for the Kerry Polka. These are going to accompany the tune that we're learning in the tab. So we've only got 3 chords that we need to know. They're G major, I think we're all really familiar with that one. C major, and another one we're all pretty familiar with now, D major. Remember, we can play D in 2 different ways. First finger on the G string, second fret, second finger on the C string, second fret, and third finger on the E string, second fret. Or we can lie our first finger across those 3 strings on the second fret, leaving the A string open. So they're the only 3 chords that we need to know. In a second, I'm just going to play through the whole of the first part just once. We won't do the repeat, but I just want to look at the last bar of the first part, and it's also the last bar of the second part, so that'll cover us for this as well. But we have, in every other bar, we have a crotchet rhythm, and it's going to be played like this. So we're going to strum the top 2 strings on beat 1. Then on beat 2, we strum the whole chord like that. So it should, say we take the first bar of the G, it should be after 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So just 2 down strums in every bar. That changes when we get to the last bar of the first part. You'll see that in blue there, and just before the repeat sign is the last bar of the first part. We're going to be playing the D chord, but it's 2 quavers on the D at first, so that they're half a beat. So that's 1 and, so a small bit quicker, and then straight to a G on beat 2. So that should sound like this. It's after 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So you see those 2 down strums on the D are on the 1 and the and then 2 on, we're on to G. So one more time after 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and that's it. That's all we really have to watch out for. I'm going to count us in a second. So after 2, we'll just go through it really steady here. And I'm going to play through the first part, and then I'm going to stop, and I'm going to count us in, and we're going to go play through the second part. We're not going to do any repeats just yet. We're just practicing. So we're ready? Just the first part. Ready? 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and G and 2 and C. 1 and 2. Now it's D. 1 and 2. Back to G. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. C again. 1 and 2. Now the quick D. 1 and 2. So that's the whole of the first part. Kind of handy, all down strums. Just watch out for that sneaky quaver D. Let's have a look at the second part. The chord progression changes slightly, but we do have that sneaky D at the end of the second part as well. The quaver, 2 quaver Ds and the G. So watch out for that. Let's just give it a go. Let's go through it. So roughly the same speed after 2. You ready? 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and D and 2 and C and 2 and D and 2 and G and 2 and D and 2 and C and 2 and D and G. So that's all the chords for the Kerry Polka. I've only gone through the first and second part once there. There is a repeat in it. I just want to keep this video as short and snappy as possible. So if you want to practice those chords now, remember, stop the video, take it back, skim back and go back to the start and go over the changes, because they are trickier than they look. And in a second, what's going to happen is there's going to be a video where we've got the tune for the Kerry Polka going and also the chords going along with it. So I'd like to try playing the chords along with the melody. So give that a go. I'll have the chords coming up on the G-on screen as well, so you can follow them. So best of luck with this, lads, and I hope you get on well with it, and we'll move on to something. We'll try this a bit faster next week, and we'll also move on to a new song, hopefully Some Say the Devil Is Dead. Okay, chat to you next week.
1 and 2 and